What is your name, please?
My name is Henry Slomanski.
What is your name, please?
My name is Henry Slomanski.
What is your name, please?
My name is Henry Slomanski.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Henry Slomanski, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Rise Instant Lather, the inventor of aerated shaving. For smoothest shaves in half the time, get Rise, America's largest-selling shave cream. Now may I introduce our panel. First, Miss Polly Bergen. And back with us, and I couldn't welcome him more, our friend and colleague and star of Sunrise at Campobello for such a long time and kept him away from us, Mr. Ralph Bellamy. Next, Miss Monique Van Vooren. And finally, Mr. Tom Poston. Ralph, good to have you back.
Glad to be here. I missed it.
I hope you stay around as long as you can. Come back any time you can.
Thank you, Bud.
All right, panel, would you please follow along with your copies of this affidavit as I read it? I, Henry Slomanski, am a master sergeant in the United States Army. I am a master parachutist and an instructor at the 101st Airborne Division School at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I am also an international commissioner of the 2,600-year-old Japanese sport of karate. Karate means empty or bare-handed fighting. In Japan, a karate expert's hands are considered so lethal, he must be registered with the police. A trained karate man can drive his hand completely through 4 inches of solid wood. Social graces are also important in rising into the higher degrees of karate. Only 2 men in the world outrank me in karate. Both are Japanese, over 65 years old. For the past 6 years, I have been the international karate champion. Signed, Henry Slomanski. Panel, as you heard, we have here 3 husky gentlemen, all claiming to be Henry Slomanski, international karate champion. Are you all ready, gentlemen? All right, let's start this first round then with Tom Poston. Tom, if you please.
Thank you, Bud. Number 2, have you ever been to France?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Number 1, how many drops did the 101st make in World War II?
I haven't the slightest idea, sir.
I take it that you were not in the 101st during World War II. Were you number 2?
Yes, sir.
How many drops did you make?
60.
Good heavens above.
From heavens above.
60 combat drops?
That's including training.
Oh, I see. Number 3, could you tell me the major combat drops during the campaign in the ETO during World War II? Normandy, Sicily, Holland, Belgium. And number 2, you've been to France.
Polly Bergen.
Number 1, it says here that you can drive your hand through 4 inches of wood.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe you could help me. What is the easiest way to remove a splinter? Do you get them?
Occasionally, if the wood is not dry enough.
If the wood isn't dry enough.
Yes, ma'am.
And number 2, it says here that you also have to learn all sorts of social graces. What social graces would they be?
Such as manners, learning how to arrange a flower garden, etc.
Oh, you mean you learn how to put the flowers on the opponent's chest?
No, in Japan, you're invited to a Japanese home. You must go through the social graces in the middle class.
I see.
Ralph Bellamy.
Number 1, you're an expert on things Oriental. Does the name T.F. Hodge mean anything to you?
No, sir.
Number 2, does it to you?
No, sir.
Number 3, does it to you?
No, sir.
Number 1, where did the 101st Airborne first distinguish itself?
I wasn't with them, sir, but I understand it was at Bastogne during World War II.
Number 2, what is the lowest altitude at which a parachute will safely open?
175 feet.
And number 3, what's the highest altitude at which a parachute will safely open? It'll open in any altitude. Any altitude.
Yes, sir.
Number one, you say the same?
Same,
Monique?
sir.
Number one, I see you have a patch on your blouse. What does it mean?
It's the Order of the Golden Fist, ma'am.
And you have some Japanese writing right underneath. What does it say?
Henry Slomanski.
What is the place where do you hold your championship? Number one.
We hold them, the last time they were held, it was at the Karate Federation in Tokyo.
Number two, do women practice karate?
Not generally. It's generally for men only, Japanese men.
Number three.
Let's keep it that way, too. I think it's the best place for it. And it's time to vote, panel, so without consultation, will you kindly now mark your ballots? And in doing so, you will select, if you please, number one, number two, or number three. Remember that the team of challengers receives $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, panel, have you all marked your ballots? Polly, all set? For whom did you vote, Polly?
Well, my nurse was so impossible last week because she got 3 right. And she egged me on all week because of it. And if I get any wrong this week, she said I should vote for the quiet one. And so I vote for number 3.
Number 3.
If she isn't right, you're fired.
Ralph, what about your vote?
Number 2. He was quicker with his answers, and there's a look in his eye, and for a minute I was with number 1, but he's perspiring, and I don't think a karate expert would perspire.
Okay, Monique, your vote, please.
Well, I vote for number 2 because I think number 1 looks so rough that he must be the right one. So I vote for number 2.
Tom Poston, which one do you think is the real one?
I voted for number 2, Bud. I tell you, they're all pretty lethal, but the social graces seem to be important in this, too, and I think number 2 looks like the kind of man who would say, "Excuse me," before he broke your arm.
All right, if that's what we mean by social graces, there we have it. The votes are in, minds are made up, and if you're playing along at home, let's find out now how right or wrong you are, we are, as we do a little discovering right now. Now, I'm sure you remember it said in the affidavit that a karate expert can drive his bare hand through a plank of wood and all kinds of things like that. So, I have a plank of wood that I got backstage, and it's a solid piece of wood. I wouldn't want to try to put my hand through it, I'll tell you that. So I'm going to ask the real one, the gentleman who is our real Sergeant Slomanski, to actually do this for us as a way of identifying him. Gentlemen, would you mind getting up and coming around in front of your desks, please? All right, now I'm going to ask the real Sergeant Slomanski to break through this board with his bare fist. Now, gentlemen, you may examine the board. The only thing I don't understand is he put his hand through it, but my hand hurts.
Could you see his hand?
Sure, go ahead.
Could you hold your hands up?
Not so big.
You ask him afterwards how they toughen those hands. That's a pretty frightening story. Thank you very much, sir. Number 1, you tell us your real name and what you really do.
My name is Leo Marks. I'm an advertising salesman with Q Magazine, and I'm a coward.
What degree?
Nice.
Number 2, would you tell us your real name, what you do, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Arthur McCanty. I'm a professional boxing referee in New York State, and I'm a sales representative for Liebman Breweries, makers of Rheingold beer.
Well, gentlemen, we thank you very much for being with us tonight and checking up on our score. You did very well as far as the panel is concerned. You had 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 from Rise, which is not bad at all. On your way out, you'll find a year's supply of Rise Instant Lather for each of you. Good night. Thanks for playing our game with us, and the best of luck to you all. Now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sara Angle.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sara Engel.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sara Engel.
Again, panel, if you please, follow along with your copies of this next affidavit. I, Sara Engel, am the daughter of Paul Engel, who is a poet and a professor at the University of Iowa. 2 weeks ago today, my father and mother, my sister Munchie, and I were held hostage in our own home by 2 convicts who had escaped from the Anamosa Men's Reformatory. They walked into my mother at 3:10 p.m. and took the others of us captive as we entered the house. As weapons, they used butcher knives from our kitchen. After a while, we got used to them being there, and we went about a more or less normal evening's activity. Before they left in our car, they cut the telephone wires and gagged us and tied us to chairs. I had hidden a pair of scissors under the parakeet's cage in my room. After they went, I wriggled free, took the scissors, and cut the rest of the family loose. Our ordeal had lasted 8 hours. Signed, Sara Engel. This time, panel, 3 bright young ladies claiming to be Sara Engel, girl held hostage with her family by 2 escaped convicts. Girls, you all ready to play our game? Comfortable? Okay, then let's start this round of questioning with Ralph Bellamy. Ralph.
Number 1, where's the University of Iowa?
It's in Iowa City.
Number 2, what's the capital of Iowa?
Des Moines.
Number 3, what's your parakeet's name?
Well, I have 3.
Well, what are their names?
Yoshi and Teal and Tarkington.
Number 1, what university in Iowa is famous for its relays?
Which relay?
Relays.
Cole College.
Number 2, what would you say?
I don't know.
Number 3, what would you say?
I don't know.
Number 1, what kind of a car was the escape car?
With our car.
I know, but what kind of... What kind?
Black Pontiac.
Black Pontiac. Number 2, what's your address in Iowa City?
Bayward Street, 724.
Monique?
Number 3, what are the surrounding states of Iowa?
Wisconsin, Nebraska, Illinois, and Missouri.
Number 1, what is the population of Iowa?
Oh, about, 30,000. I think. I'm not sure, really.
Number 2, what was the first name of the convict?
Well, there was Larry, and there was Mo.
Number 3, I assume the convicts were captured afterwards. How and where were they captured?
One was captured under a pickup truck. The other was captured in a bakery.
And where?
Tom Poston.
Thank you. That's Larry and Mo. That's kind of funny. Some friends of mine named Larry and Mo. If you'd had Curly there, you'd have had some real laughs.
His name was really Donald, but they called him Mo.
His name was Donald.
Yeah.
Well, so is Larry's. Fine. Tell me, number 2, if you're driving from California to New York and you pass through Iowa, what road would you take?
I don't know. I never did.
I don't either, but I just asked the question. Number 1, could you tell me how many feet in a line of poetry? What do feet in a line of poetry mean as a poet's daughter? Do you know?
Well, yeah, it's the way you divide it up by the rhythm. It's how many feet would be how many beats, really, were in a line.
Why don't they say beat instead of feet? They confused me for years in school.
I don't know.
I don't either. Number...
Polly?
Number 2, what was Mo's last name?
Morrison.
Morrison. Number 5, it says in the... number 5.
There he is, Polly.
Number 5.
What's the matter? I
Could
see
you tell
5
me?
there. I see 5.
It's the heat. I tell you, it's getting me down. No, it looked like a 5 with my glasses off. That's what did it. Number 3, could you tell me what were you doing before you came home and were captured by the convicts?
I was riding a horse.
Number...
That's it. Time to vote. No consultation even with number 5. Will you please mark your ballots? And as you do so, select, as usual, number 1, number 2, or number 3? Okay, panel, all set? Everybody voted? Polly?
None of them were quiet.
Well, I don't know.
Phone your nurse.
Ralph says phone your nurse. All right, come on, Polly.
No, I got it.
No, Polly. Polly.
Every instinct tells me that it's number 1, but I think it's number 3.
Well, which are you voting for? Now, make a choice now, quickly, Polly.
All right.
Quickly. Hurry up. Can't go any longer.
All right, number 3.
Number 3. Okay, number 3 is Polly's vote. Okay, Ralph?
Number 3. I started with number 1, but number 3 and the parakeets, I think. The 3 parakeets touted me off.
Monique?
Well, I picked number 3 because I think that she answered the questions best. I think that the population of Iowa is about almost 3 million, so...
Well, I think she misunderstood. I'm not too sure. I thought she meant the town, probably. And what about you, Tom?
I happen to be... I saw him over there. I voted for number 1. I don't think anyone but a poet's daughter would ever know what the feet in a line of poetry mean. She's
I
right.
don't either. I think it's number 1, too.
You do. You want to
It's
change,
not too
Polly?
late, Polly.
No, I don't want to change.
You'll stick with number 3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
It's only
votes
my
are in.
nurse's
Mine's made up.
job.
Let's find out now which one of these 3 young ladies is the real one who was held captive with her family by 2 escaped convicts. Will the real Sara Engel please stand up? Oh, dear. Let me ask you one quick question, young lady. Were you scared?
At first.
I'll bet you were. Okay, number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you do, please?
My name is Ann Bolt, and I'm a senior at the Nightingale Bamford School here in New York, where they taught me about feet in poetry.
And number 2, what is your real name and what do you do?
I'm Kathy Hathaway, and I'm going to be a sophomore in Libertyville Fremont High School. It's in Illinois.
Thank you very much. I should have had you all 3 with us, and I'm glad you got through your harrowing experience so well, and on this show as well, too, because I'm sorry to say there was only 1 incorrect vote. Panel did rather well on this one, but that means $250 from Rise, and on your way out, you'll find a gift package of all of Carter's fine products for each of you. Hope you had fun. Good night. Good luck. Now, panel, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Major Antony Brambley.
What is your name, please?
My name is Major Antony Bradley.
What is your name, please?
My name is Major Antony Brambley.
Again, panel, follow along, if you will. The affidavit. I, Major Antony Brambley, am a retired cavalry officer of the British Army. I am now a dairy farmer. Despite my having no previous experience in this field, my milk herd produces 3 times the national average output. This I attribute to 2 factors. First, I run my farm on a military-like schedule, and second, my cows sleep on foam rubber plastic-covered mattresses, which I developed myself, and I am now marketing them. I am in this country to talk to the Department of Agriculture and several manufacturing companies about making and selling the mattresses here. I firmly believe that a comfortable, happy cow will give more milk. Signed, Major Antony Brambley. Here we have 3 gentlemen, panel, all dedicated to the proposition that comfortable cows give more milk. So let's find out which one is the real Major Antony Brambley by asking Polly Bergen to start off.
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, do you have a name for your mattress?
Yes. It's a cowlay.
What is it?
A cowlay.
A cowlay. Why don't you call it a mootress? Well, that's better than a cowlay.
I think it is.
It is, really.
A mootress. Yeah.
A mootress. You should think about that. Number 2, Do I get any kind of a percentage if he uses this name?
Yeah, you'd speak to him about that.
Would you discuss the contract
I will,
with him?
yes,
All
I will, right after
Number
this.
2, it says here that you keep your ranch, your cow thing on a military schedule. What does that include? I mean, when would reveille be?
At 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning. Where is this farm of yours?
My farm is about 6 miles north of Oxford, in England.
Ralph?
Number one, you speak of the national average. What is the national average of milk output?
Per cow?
The national average, which is referred to here.
The national average.
Number
per
2,
cow.
do you know?
Yes, sir. It's 200 gallons per acre.
And what is your average?
Mine is 600 gallons.
600 gallons. Number 3, how do you know that it's comfort that makes the cow give more milk and not irritation from this mattress?
Oh, by the result of the gallonage.
It's comfortable milk. Monique?
Number 2 is a Dutch belted. Is that a Dior style or is that a cow?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get the
A
question.
Dutch belted. Is that a style of a jacket or a cow?
Is that a fashion style of a jacket or is it a cow?
I never had it applied to
Read
either,
a cow,
I'm
a
afraid.
Dutch belter.
Number 3, what is a Hereford?
It's a cow.
Number 1, what is the degree of Fahrenheit that you have to put milk through in order to obtain pasteurization?
I have no idea.
Number 2, what is the process do you have to use in order to separate the cream from the milk? What is it called?
That's done in the separating machine.
Which thinks for itself. Tom Poston.
That's right. Thank you. Boy, you had some beautiful questions there. Number 1, do you happen to know what a Dutch belted is?
I should think it might refer to a pig even.
What?
Now I'm confused. Tell me, number 2, what is anthrax? I will later. It's probably a dress. What is anthrax, number 2?
Anthrax? That is the time a cow takes to produce milk. The number of years has to wait.
Okay, time to vote. Please mark your ballots, if you will, please, panel, and vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Vote quickly, if you will. Our time is running short. Everybody voted? All right, Polly, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1.
Uh-huh. Reason quickly?
I don't have any reason. I just voted for number
All
1.
right. Ralph, what about your vote?
Number 3, he answered fewer wrong questions, I think, than the rest of them.
Okay, Monique?
Well, I voted for number 2. He's got such a kind face. I'm sure he would give a mattress to a cow.
And Tom, what about your selection?
I voted for number 1. Actually, I voted before Polly, but it would have been a good enough reason for me to vote just because she did. She's getting everything tonight. I voted for number 1.
Oh, no, I missed this one. I know I did.
Okay, the cow's mattresses are all made up, and we'll find out the reasons for making them up the way we did. If you're playing at home, watch right now. Yeah, I realize. So will the real inventor of mattresses for cows, please, Major Antony Brambley, stand up. Thank you very much, Major, and also thank you for saving Polly's nurse's job for her. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you do?
My name is Charles Pickering, and I'm a salesman of British Overseas Airways Corporation.
Thank you, sir. And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Ivor McLaren, and I handle public relations for the Hotel Pier here in New York.
Thank you, sir. Well, we checked the score rather rapidly and find that there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Rise. On your way out, there'll be a year's supply of Rise Instant Lather for each of you, and it's been a great pleasure having you on our show. Good night, gentlemen, and good luck. Well, that's all the time we have tonight, except to thank Polly's nurse for appearing on our panel tonight.
Yes, thank you, Hannah.
Ralph, we'll see you next week, huh?
All right, you are, Bud.
And I guess that's all the vital statistics. Good night, panel.
Good night.
This is Bud Collier saying good night from Rise Instant Lather and Arid Cream Deodorant and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is the Mark Goodson, Bill Godwin production in association with the CBS Television Network. Miss Bergen song by Wilma.